What is special, I think, about makeup is it's, of course, self-organized structures. We are all deciding all together what's happening, but also we have to do all the work together, which means like fixing stuff, repairing stuff, breaking windows through, creating a stage, and so on, so on. So it's really like a growing space, which also, when we entered, was totally a desert. There was no water, no electricity, no toilet. And out of this situation, we had the chance to build it up, but also for that reason, getting good and cheap conditions. Yes, Makeup is a self-organized artist space, or I call it a production space for different artists, but it also can host events from all different types. So we are 15 artists trying to support each other through infrastructure, through technical devices, through emotional exchange, through experiences, contacts. So it's a way of how can we sustain this kind of collective environment and space. All these kind of difficulties of a self-organized space, of course, are embedded here. So that's for me like an ongoing experiment on how is that possible, despite all those things which try to restrict somehow this collaborative work. In case of individual career, in case of permanent security, and so on and so on. Behind Makeup, for me, there stands an experiment. And the experiment is how is it possible to collectively support each other, find ways of existing more independently from the typical standards and requirements from an artistic environment. Where Makeup is not really differing is a bit the question how we contribute or not contribute to questions of gentrification. So even the name is already a bit a reference to the question how these kind of artistic spaces make up something in forms of temporary use. You know, you make a street shiny, a place shiny. And also here where we are in the Papierstraße, I think nearly nobody who comes to Makeup has ever come to this specific spot in Berlin. I call it often the cultural Bermuda Triangle because it's a bit in between the different neighborhoods where something is going. Another aspect of Makeup I think is quite typical for Berlin or for a quite pressured real estate environment is that we don't have any security. So we can drop out any moment. There's no contract anymore. So that's something what also gives a certain atmosphere. Sometimes it, I think, can even create a spontaneous way of working. On the other side, also it's a bit of threat and nobody nearly wants to invest something in the space because you don't know how long it runs.